speaking of coaches, we have former NBA standout and the head coach of the BYU women's basketball team, Jeff Judkins, back in Studio B. Time to jam with Juddy. You ready?
I'm ready to jam.
Okay, let's start with the big one, the big game. You spent a few years in Boston, so by default, are you a forever Boston sports fan and in turn happy that the Patriots won the Super Bowl?
Well, this was a crazy thing. At first I wanted Atlanta to win because they've never won it. When you have your opportunity, you don't want to blow it. And so I thought that'd be awesome for them. I missed the first half. My family came over, we had dinner, and I went down, I'm thinking it's going to be 21-17. People don't realize I predicted 34-31 Pats.
Wow.
Okay.
So I was pretty close. And so I'm thinking it's going to be 21-17. I come down as 21-3. And then New England makes their run, the first, and don't do anything. And I'm thinking it's over. And then when 28-3, it says definitely over.
Yeah.
And so then when they started coming back, as a normal fan, you just look at it and say, I want this game to be close. So I was going for then. And when it got tied, I didn't know what I wanted. I knew this, and it's really sad. You guys probably knew it too. Whoever won the flip was going to win. Because I knew if Atlanta got the ball first, they would go 4 downs and try to score.
Sure.
They wouldn't risk it because they knew Brady was hot.
Yeah.
And so when New England got that, it's over. They're going to win. They'll just do the same thing. They'll go all the way down and go 4 downs. It's funny how that works. It's kind of like in basketball. You're down 10 and you start pressing. The press works great. Everybody comes up to you and goes, "Why don't you press them the whole game?" Well, when you're desperate, you're more aggressive.
Yes.
You'll gamble. And that's what you saw in that football game is they were more aggressive that way. Now, as you well know, as a coach, when they didn't run 3 runs and threw a pass and got sacked, I'm going, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Everybody was saying that.
Like, what are you doing? And then I hear the comment, well, that's not our team. Okay, so I'm up 20, and my team's a fast-breaking team, and we're up 20 with 5 minutes to go. I'm not going to run the shot clock? Come on. I'm going to run the shot clock down to nothing if I have to. It's funny because I'll look at my coaches and say, if we run the shot clock, do we have any chance of losing this game if we're up 15 or 16? Because, winning the game's the main object, not proving to somebody that you've got a good offense or whatever, in my opinion.
Well, hey, you said you missed the first half. If you're going to miss any half of that Super Bowl, you missed the good half.
Yeah, I know.
That's the part you can miss. If you miss the other one, that would.
Yeah. Did you miss Lady Gaga though?
I saw
Coach?
that. That's
okay.
Are you a Gaga fan?
Not really, but that was pretty impressive. That was a pretty impressive show.
That was.
I did not think we were going to be talking Lady Gaga with Judkins today.
It's jamming with Juddy.
Yeah, it's jamming,
That's
baby.
what we do. Right now, you sit in 3rd place in the West Coast Conference. Big week ahead, but you have 2 games at home. What do you expect this week from your team back in the comforts of the Marriott Center where you've been, markedly better than you have been on the road?
Well, first of all, Pepperdine's a very scary team. They beat San Francisco by 25, and then they lose to Portland. I mean, tell me that.
Yeah,
Portland
that's weird.
scores 37 points, 37 points on us, or whatever it was, and they scored 82 points against Pepperdine. So they scare me because of that. They're up and they're down, and they could be on. They could be on fire. For whatever reason, teams shoot well here. I don't know why. You think it'd be the opposite, but they always do. But so that game, we played them very well in Malibu. They come out in the zone, and McKenzie and Cassie and Fuller and even Brenna came in and hit 3 threes for us. We have a good shooting team, so if they come out in their zone, which I think they will again, we got to hit shots. If we hit shots, then it'll be a long night for them. But they kind of scare me. And then, of course, San Francisco beat us. So we got to come ready to go, and we got to get them. They're in 5th place. So if we can beat them and move them farther back, then we have a better chance of either taking the 1, 2, or 3. I mean, we have to hope now that Gonzaga stumbles somewhere by somebody else. And then hopefully we take care of business and win all our games and play them in the final day. And if they've got one loss, then hopefully beat them and tie. And that'd be our hope.
Are your goals for the team the same as they were when you started the season, or with the way the season has played out, have you had to adjust the goals?
We've had to adjust it. I mean, we didn't win the games that we needed to win in preseason. I mean, we lost every game that we thought was a big game was a marquee game for us to help our RPI. And if we would have beaten, let's say, for example, we would have beaten Oklahoma and we would have beaten Utah and we would have beaten Washington, it would have been we would be probably in the top 10 RPI, and winning the conference wouldn't have made as big a difference and all this thing. Now we know we have to win the conference tournament to go to the NCAA tournament.
Jeff Judkins with us in Studio B, head coach of the BYU women's basketball team with home games against Pepperdine and San Francisco this week. What does your team struggle to do on the road that they do well at home?
I would say what happens is we have better intensity. Probably at home, we come out in the game and we're more aggressive. On the road, we sometimes come out and we just kind of like don't really start off very well. We get ourselves in a hole. That was the issue. That was the big point I tried to make with the Portland game. I said, look at our last 3 or 4 road games. This is what we've done. We can't do that. We got to come out and jump on them and set the tone for what the game is. And we didn't score early. We missed some easy shots. Jasmine got us going. Jasmine Moody scored our first 6 points, but defensively we really set the tone. We didn't give them anything, and that's what we've been doing pretty well at home. And I think we shoot the ball a lot better at home, especially McKenzie. I think she's comfortable. She's practiced here. She's been here. We just seem, and I think last and not least is just that we just seem to get up a little bit better for that. We've talked about it. You got to take care of home court. But you saw the other night, BYU men with Portland, if you're not ready to play, just because you're at home doesn't mean you're going to win this game.
Right.
You got to come out ready to play.
You mentioned Jasmine Moody, and you've shuffled a couple of different players into the starting lineup at that other forward spot next to Kalani, and Jasmine got to start the last game. Is that something you'll stick with for this week? And what's been the reason why that position you've had so many different players coming in and out?
Well, I think the biggest reason is inconsistency from that position. They play good one time and they don't play good, and then I sub. And if that person that comes in for them does a good job, I play the cards. I just keep playing them. Part of the reason I decided to go back, I didn't pull Amanda out of the starting lineup because Amanda was playing crappy. I need somebody to come off the bench that gives me a spark, somebody that comes in and really does what needs to be done in that position.
Well, Amanda Wayman is that, right?
And she is. She's smart. She understands it. She's got experience. She's got a knack of being in the right position at the right time. And so, and the reason I've started Jasmine instead of Chalet is this league is all pick on ball, and that's the one thing Chalet struggles with, was running out there and hard showing and doing some things aggressively. She will get better at it, but being a young freshman, she doesn't understand it yet. And Jasmine is a lot better with that. And then last and not least, Jasmine's played pretty good in practice, and she really had a pretty good game against Gonzaga. She came in and really was aggressive in the post. We need that. We need somebody to want the ball in the post, and so that's why. And I thought she really did a good job against Portland.
Jamming with Juddy, Jeff Judkins in Studio B. We've been chronicling the story of Melanie Pearson Day, who has been battling cancer. And if you're not familiar, BYU Sports Nation, Coach Judkins and the men's team, they all teamed up and helped her book a trip to North Carolina to watch the Duke-North Carolina game, the rivalry in college sports right now. And
which is going to be tomorrow, by the way.
That is tomorrow.
Yeah.
In conjunction with something that you have going on at home, the Pink Game, which is, to be aware of cancer and whatnot. So what kind of thoughts? How do you balance those thoughts of Mel and that whole cancer situation and still try and get a win? There's a lot going on right there.
It's hard. I think, first of all, when you see the color pink, I think most women coaches or players realize that there's been a lot of wonderful people that have passed away with this disease, cancer. And of course, my father passed away with cancer, so it means a lot to me when I see that and I realize that this disease, we've got to get something someday, hopefully, to be able to stop this. But it's just, I think for Mel, I'm just so happy for her because she's doing something that she loves to do. I wish I didn't have a game. I would go out there with her and enjoy it. But, she's been a special person in my life, and I hope that she's here for a lot longer. She just keeps going and being around us, and I hope with all the prayers that have been in her behalf that she continues to enjoy her life and live as long as she can. So, but it is hard. It's hard to focus that sometimes.
With the 2 games at home this week, and you mentioned some of the adjusted expectations, you know how well you play at home. So give us a little maybe scouting report on what you expect to see this week, but also the way you expect your team to play in these 2 home games.
Well, first of all, we've told them that we need to run the table. So it starts tomorrow night. If we want any chance of winning the conference, we have to take care of our business and do that. So it starts tomorrow night. Pepperdine is a good team, and we have to be ready, and we're going to have to be able to shoot the ball. San Francisco is more of a slashing team. We had a hard time guarding them, and we're going to have to do a little bit better job with our bigs guarding their perimeter players. Their bigs are not big post players; they're more outside shooters, and take care of the ball better. We did not take care of the ball very well at San Francisco. Their pressure, I think we had 23 turnovers, and you can't do that. You can't. Pepperdine, we played them there. 2 of their players were not playing. One had a concussion, one had an eye injury. They'll be back, so it'll be tougher. There's no question.
Last week when we presented you with the BYU Sports Nation Karma, we forgot to tell you that the caveat was it's going to reveal itself all in one game at Portland, and you won by 39. Let's give you an even disbursement of the Karma this week.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Over Thursday and Saturday. That's all right?
That's crazy, isn't it? We get blown out, and then we blow somebody else. Basketball is a different game. People don't realize that some teams you don't have no chance to win, and sometimes teams just supposed to win just roll over them. Look how many losses this year with the men's basketball of top programs losing to people that they don't think they're supposed to, because who knows? Sometimes that ball, to me, in this sport, maybe I'm wrong, the referees are the biggest. They control more of the game than any other sport, in my opinion.
I think it's very fair.
And they can set a tone for everything. Now, football, I heard a guy say, well, they could call holding every play they could call holding. They have to look at it and say, where's the advantage? Whatever. Volleyball, line, not line, net, that's not maybe as hard, but basketball's tough. It really is. If you get referees that one ref lets you be real physical and their ref is calling everything, it's for a player, it's really hard.
A new fan of Lady Gaga, Jeff Judkins, bringing the heat on the mic. He's a basketball coach now, and hopefully one of my life coaches later in life. Is that cool?
I hope so, yeah.
Coach, thanks for the time.
Hey, thanks, Vince.